We're back, we're live, in a dramatic development here. This is the leading Audi. It has punctured its left rear tire, and it has gone more than half a lap at this slow speed, trying to crawl back to the pit lane without doing too much damage. This is Christian Abt in the car, 1 lap after he made the pit stop. The leading car is in trouble, and in fact, he's already lost the lead. The number 8 car, driven by Biela, Christensen, and Pirro, has now gone into the lead. Wow. And guess who is in 3rd place? Brabham, Magnussen, and Mario Andretti beginning to close in ever closer to the Audi. Boy, the wheels are coming off the wagon here, David.
Boy, it's just one little thing after another, you know, and of course, all these things like these punctures, it just depends where you get it. I mean, if you get it around the back of the circuit, you've got to go 5 or 6 miles.
Yes.
Very, makes a tremendous difference.
And he was going a little bit fast on his way back to the pits. I just hope he didn't do damage to the body report. But look at that rear tire. I mean, just destroyed as he brings her in. Calvin.
Yes, he's in, Derek, and the damage doesn't look to be too bad. It does look like the left rear corner right at the very tail is beat up a little bit. They're putting it in the air, throw that carcass off the car, and they're looking inside. They're checking out the upright. Looks like there may be a little bit of play in there. I'm not sure how much is normal. It's certainly scuffed the side there. Looks like they're going to bring him in. I believe he may have damaged the suspension, not so much bodywork, more suspension. So this may be the experience. Christian Abt is one of the younger drivers on this team. They wheel it around, they're bringing it in, and they may just change the whole corner. That may be quicker than actually repairing just certain parts of that suspension. We may be seeing one of those flying. Yes, they are. They're bringing it in as we speak. They're going to try and do another one of their flying rear-end changes here. The record is at about 4 minutes, guys. We're going to put a clock on it, see if they can beat this time.
We have a watch on it, Calvin, so stay right there.
There's the replacement unit ready to go.
Under 4 minutes, they did this complete rear transmission change about 2 or 3 hours ago on the number 9 car, I believe. The number 9 car that was started by Alan McNish.
The rear of the car is already ready on the cherry picker as we speak. And they have that ready. So the crane goes on in the garage. They're going to lift that one straight up in the air, and the other one is already behind the car, ready to roll straight on. So they're doing a good job. They're still under a minute. I believe it's like 4 bolts and 6 quick release hoses on this, so they don't have to bleed anything. The rear end that they'll put on this car has already got fluid in the systems for the brakes, the clutch, and everything else. So they're just over a minute right now as we speak. I don't see any trauma. I don't see any panic. Certainly the car's extremely hot. One of the mechanics is waving his hand like he may have burnt something, but the rest of the crew go to work. They're also working on the front end as we speak, looking at the brakes down there, so they may take advantage of this time to maybe do a brake pad change on the front end as they're down and losing time on the track. So, looks like it's taking a little bit longer. It's about 2 minutes on the last one to get the rear end off the car, so it's certainly about the same time. And there's a lot of panic going on here. They're trying to clear out the crowd to, and I'm going to get roped off here shortly, but they're trying to clear the space so the mechanics can go to work.
Stay right there, Calvin. We want to see this. This is good stuff here. Minute 45 into the change here.
I believe on the last one, about a minute 45, that old rear end was coming off. The other one is getting pretty close. They obviously feel, there we go. It's starting to come loose about 2 minutes in. So they may be on about the same pace. The other one almost hits the old one. They got it in as the other one goes up, and out over the front of the car. They roll it forward. There's like a cherry picker that just rolls on a rail and brings that old rear end forward out of the way, and that's the whole thing. You don't want to be stepping over yourself. The other one is already in position. They're doing up bolts as we speak, and this looks like it's a good one.
Calvin, is Christian Abt still in the car?
I believe he stayed in the car, Derek. Yes, he has. Tough to see from here with the crowd, but he is in the car. We're now about 2 minutes 30 into this. They're working on the side there. They're connecting some of the hoses. And this is a quick one. I don't see any other damage. They may change the tail. I think they've actually switched the tail because there was some slight damage. So I think they're putting a fresh tail on the car. That'll need to be plugged in for the rear lights and clipped up. I don't see any excessive body damage that will mean that it will not line up. The cherry picker has been released. They're just completing the task. 3 minutes in.
Calvin, Calvin, the Panos now, David Brabham and Mario Andretti is now 3 minutes and 44 seconds behind this car that's parked in the garage.
But
that car is in the pits, I believe, guys. They're doing a pit stop, so the pressure is on. We've seen a few chinks in the armor. We spoke to Reinhold, and he said there wasn't a gearbox problem. Let's go down to Dorsey and hear about the Panos.
Well, guys, they're bringing the Panos behind. They're going to put it in the shop.
No.
He shut the motor off. They were fueling it. It looked like it was a normal stop. Then all of a sudden, they jacked it up on the fours, and it's back in the garage. Magnussen now is getting out of the car. They're going under the hood. They're going to take the hood up, and look, there must be a problem in the engine bay.
mark this time. It's 2:40 a.m. This is a major turning point in this race. We'll be looking back at this moment when the Panos could have taken over second place.
There's Don Panos right behind the car, standing there. You see him in the glasses, the red hair. Don Panos, a trailblazer, trying to win this race with a front-engined car. Not since 1962 has anybody with an engine in the front won the Le Mans 24-hour race.
He can hardly stand to watch.
And here's the boys of the Audi.
They're about 4 minutes and 15 seconds in, guys. Looks like the rear end is bolted up. They're now looking to try and get that rear diffuser under there. That clips up very quickly. The rear wheels are going on at the same time. So we could be within about 60 seconds of this job being completed.
And remember, Christian Abt did go off the road. We heard the team manager, Juttner, tell us that. He went off the road, did go into the gravel. I wonder, did that have part of the problem here, David, that gave him that puncture?
Well, absolutely. You just don't know. And they said that he went off the road to avoid a car that spun in front of him. That may be the case, but it's obviously terribly, terribly slippery out there today. It's been slippery all afternoon. There is the Panos.
There's Mario.
That looks like Mario in there.
Dorsey?
Mario is getting ready to get in the car. The reason they went to the front of the car is they knew they were going to make a lengthy stop. So they're doing brake pads up there. In the meantime, guys, guess what? They're doing the very same thing we've seen Audi do. They're running a rear clip complete. It looks like they're working on the gearbox under this car, but they have a rear clip with a man working on it here. It's also on a jack device, and it might be the same type of thing we've seen Audi do. A complete change of the rear end.
Mario doesn't look in too much of a hurry, so I don't believe these boys are going to do this in about 4 minutes like the Audi boys. But a golden opportunity slips away here for Mario Andretti, because the leading number 7 Audi is still in the pits right there. Number 8, meanwhile, goes into the lead. Number 8, Frank Biela, Tom Christensen, and Emanuele Pirro. And in just over 5 minutes, Audi wheel back the number 7 car.
Number 7 car is in the pit lane now, Derek. The job has been completed. It was about just over 6 minutes, not quite as quick. They're now jacking the car up. The little trolleys are out from underneath the car. They'll release the car. Christian Abt gets the signal. He stalls it momentarily, refires it. He's back underway.